What's up, folks? Welcome back to GAMERViCE. You already know what it is. You're here with your boy Hank, and my guy over there is
Kevin. What's up, everybody?
we didn't even practice that one. That's Kevin over there. But you guys already know if you've been here, and if you're new, welcome. Hope we can keep you around. Gaming news is what we do. We talk all kind of things gaming. You know what it is. But today we're gonna hit on a few things, and one of those things is being Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we talked about in our last video where we spoke about October games and releases. So this Assassin's Creed release is the first one to kick off October with the big AAA releases and things like that. And the reviews are in, and you know how we feel about reviews on this channel. If you don't, go look at one of the original videos. And if you don't want to do that, we're going to talk about how we do it anyways. But Kevin, Assassin's Creed Mirage, thoughts on the reviews? Hit us with it.
First of all, the fact that somebody reviewed this game and gave it 100, I don't know. Listen, I guess opinions are, you know, everybody's got an opinion. That's fine and all, but 100 means that game is like perfect to you. That's a strong, I don't know. That's like saying you love a game. It's like using the L word, you know, like that's a strong feeling to have 100. That's crazy to me. But anyways, that's just my opinion again. But the game as a whole, Metacritic gave it a 77, which for a game just in general, you know, in a vacuum, it's a pretty good score. I think 77 is a pretty solid score in my opinion.
It puts you in the green.
It puts you in the green.
It's gotta be
exactly.
Good, right? Green means good. Green good.
But as far as the Assassin's Creed IP, it's like the second or third worst Metacritic score. So I was looking it up earlier, and the best was, I think, Assassin's Creed 2 with like a 91 or a 92, something along those lines. And then our favorite, Black Flag, got an 88, I believe. So
yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 is really good.
Yeah,
that's the yeah, it's good too.
So the fact that this one got a 77, I mean, it's a good game, and it means that you should have a good time playing it. You have a good chance of you enjoying that game, not necessarily meaning that it's a perfect game or it's a shitty game. It's just you have a good chance of enjoying that game. But you know.
Yeah, so exactly. What he's saying there is how we like to review the game is, you know, if it's got, you know, a 77, let's say 77 out of 100, it's a 77% chance you're going to like the game. That's how we're going to go ahead and look at it.
Yeah.
So subjective, you know, with reviews and critics. Like Kevin mentioned, the one guy is giving it 100 or 10 out of 10, whatever you want to look at. It's just like, if it was the case, we would have been hearing that a lot more across, you know, the gaming news world. And that's clearly not the case. So it's like, what gives this guy, like, what are the credentials to be considered under the credit tab too on Metacritic? I guess that's the other next thing. But, and that's not the same, like, that's my point though. For him, it was 100 out of 100. He literally must have loved it. It was the perfect game. I find it kind of crazy. I mean, and when games are even 10 out of 10 masterpiece, like, it's also like, damn, are they really like
you
a
couldn't
10 out of 10 means it's almost perfect.
You couldn't find anything wrong with it, really?
And I guess what's true is, like, I'm trying to think to the games that did get that, like, or if I think back, like, the Grand Theft Autos, when they do drop, they are pretty perfect. Like, I don't know, like, what more can you ask for them? Like, they do what they got to do. Zelda's, the games, the ones that have mastered their craft and the ones that get 10s out of 10, it's like, I get it. They're perfect. Could they have other features and things? Yes. But I guess as the game is, perfect. Yeah. Cool. Like, and I just don't see how this game is that perfect. But again, subjective opinions.
I will say that.
Go ahead.
The site that gave it 100, like, it's such an outlier that the rest of the scores are like, so just looking at the critic reviews, that person gave it 100, and then the next site is an 85, and then everything else is 80 or below. So
85 and down, like, it almost goes. Big difference.
It is a big difference.
And yeah, that even goes to, like, if we talk about Starfield, like, it's true though, like, the few that did even give that a 10 or 100, I don't think it was a perfect game. But we also talked about the ones that like ripped it, and it's just like it's not that bad of a game. But like, yeah, I don't like for people to even give Starfield a 10 out of 10. It's like, damn, there's definitely things that keep it from being a 10 out of 10. Like if you wanted to say 9.5, I'd be like, okay. Like you say 10 out of 10, it's just like you just want to like it. Like that's just what it is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's also fine. That is okay. But when we talk about trying to give a review and put it out to the world for other people to see, like it's hard. And just because everything again is opinion.
And just to give a comparison, because we talked about this earlier, Cyberpunk DLC Phantom Liberty actually has as high as a 90 on Metacritic.
Okay, I didn't even know. We meant to go look at that one. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
it has a 90 right now. That's cooking. All right, yeah, Cyberpunk.
As high as a 90, because of course they break it down on as far as different platforms. So the Xbox version has a 90. I think the PC version has like an 89, and then the PS5 version has an 87. I don't know why there's like a couple. It's only a couple, points. Whatever.
It's always like
It's always like a little fluctuation. But anyways, that got a 90. So that's to say, again, there's one critic who gave that DLC 100, and then everybody else seems to give it more. I hate to even put it this way, but it seems like other people seem to be doing their jobs more seriously. Is that, I don't know, is that like too mean to say? Like somebody just like gave the game a
yeah.
I don't know.
But that's my thing then. That's the other part though. It's like critics, I don't understand. Like you saying that guy, like again, somebody gave that game 100 out of 100. Right. But like as a critic, I feel like if you're doing it as that critique, you also have to then put yourself in a different mindset. Does that make sense? Like I feel like that should be I don't know what the requirements are, but it's like, yeah, critics are like, play the game, tell us what you think it is. So I guess is that something that I'm just missing? But it's like that a group of people is going to be reading the critic. So I feel like you almost have to make yourself a non-biased person, I guess, in the sense of like, yeah, there might be things you like, but that can't heavily sway you. And there might be things you dislike, but you can't let that heavily sway you. You got to try to be like as neutral as possible. But then again, that takes it out. But again, it comes back to subjective opinion. Don't harp on reviews too much, just too many times. I mean, like, I know when I look at a game, I'm like, yo, I'm buying that. Unless something comes out and it's like, majority, I see mad reviews and it's getting slammed. It's like, okay, now I just know not to touch it. But I guess that's why we have a majority of reviews.
Yeah.
So you can't expect one person to try and do all that because it's not going to happen. That's why you take 100 people and it's like, here's what 100 people thought. I guess, yeah, you're right. That way you think you have 100 opinions. But
and just to like put a bow on how much you shouldn't take the opinion, especially don't take the opinion of just one like site. If anything, you do your research, you listen to a whole bunch of different people's input on a game, take all their pros and cons, and then you take all that information and you kind of gather and you make a conclusion, at least a smarter conclusion just based off of one person. Because again, and this is a site, we're not naming the site, but this is a site that has done hundreds and hundreds of reviews, and I'm not sure exactly if it's the exact same person that has done the Assassin's Creed review as the Starfield one, but on Starfield they gave it a 70. So just that alone is just like such a wide, if you're just looking at the Assassin's Creed one and you see, oh, they gave it 100, you're like, okay, this site likes, RPG. That's would be my assumption. Oh, they like RPGs, they like exploration, because that's kind of what Assassin's Creed is it's what that game is about. And then you get to Starfield, and for whatever reason, again, I haven't read their review in length, but I see that they gave it a 70. So it's like, it just goes to show you.
Hey, what are you doing here?
It just goes to show you, don't just take one viewpoint. Do your research. Yeah. Especially if it's a game on the
YouTube reviewers who go in detail and stuff too.
Yeah.
Then you could then it's almost like you can almost take the review out of their hands. They're going to walk you through things the game does, and you just decide, like, regardless of what they're saying about a feature, it's like, bro, I like that. Like, they could be talking about a feature and be bashing it, but you could be sitting there and be like, wait, they have that feature? I love that kind of feature.
Yeah.
So you can kind of ignore what they're saying and just let them show you what the game kind of is, like through content and YouTube, like people that get early access. That's one thing I kind of did with games now. That's what I kind of do.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even care what you review it. Let me go see what's in the game because I know what I like with gaming.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Exactly.
And you find what you like.
But I was just gonna say, and I think we're about to get in the same thing, which is we got Assassin's Creed, and that got reviewed and everything, and okay, fine, people's opinion. But there is a game on the other hand that was supposed to be released, and that is now being delayed. And Hank, talk about what game am I talking about right now?
Yeah, for a game being delayed for the third time. Sounds like Cyberpunk. But no, that was a couple years ago already. We're not talking about that. We are talking about XDefiant, a first-person shooter from Ubisoft that people have kind of been hyped about. Like, going back to, like, the play style of, it's kind of like the old CODs and the way it kind of plays. Outside of, like, bugs and, the hit reg. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about movement and things like that before COD community comes and crucifies me, too, for that. But XDefiant just dropped a little note for us here. We'll pull it up on the screen for you guys. But here it is. These guys had the audacity to drop this tweet literally 2 hours ago from this recording. A message from the XDefiant team. Thank you to everyone who participated in our recent public test session and continues to stand alongside us as we build XDefiant. The PTS once again showed us your appreciation for our fast-paced gunplay, uniquely crafted maps, objective-driven modes, and iconic faction roster. But it also surfaced some inconsistencies in the game experience that we need to address prior to launching our preseason. So the preseason, whatever. So we've made the hard decision to delay the preseason of XDefiant, aka the release kind of, before they drop season 1 and start giving us battle pass, because this game is a free to play. Right. The team will continue working to address these issues and testing them to make sure we deliver our goal of being a best-in-class arcade shooter. We will share more information about preseason and testing as it comes. Thanks again for your support. What support? We're working hard to make something really special, and we couldn't do it without you. XDefiant development team. Now, that's wild. And I'm only going to say that's wild because if you're somebody who's been keeping up with XDefiant too, there was news a couple weeks ago. These fools, sorry to say it, but these fools failed an Xbox and PlayStation certification process to even give a release window. Like, Xbox and PlayStation was like, whoa, no. Now, that doesn't mean the game is necessarily buggy from what I've been reading and all this, but like, clearly there's something significant enough from keeping these first-party consoles from selling this product on their platforms. Like, they're like, yo, that game ain't ready. You're not selling that. Like, we're not selling that. You're not putting that on our servers here. Like, we're not, on our systems. So I'm sure that's a little technicality that they'll get through, but it's like they've been giving us beta for this game and closed beta months ago.
Right.
Like, and you guys haven't done that. So it just makes me feel like, yeah, they're delaying it, but like at this point they said fall and they just said we will delay it. They didn't give a time frame. But if anyone's trying to be hopeful, I mean, we only got I'm now that I'm even thinking about it, it's October 9th. Like, there ain't even that much time left to the year. I don't think, if we had to guess right now, Kevin, if y'all somebody that want to watch or play XDefiant, I don't think you playing that game or touching that game any earlier than March of 2024.
Yeah,
and that's being optimistic. I could see this getting pushed back all the way until next summertime and rolling around. They'll be like, finally, we're dropping XDefiant. But I don't think you're seeing that till March. So hopefully they prove me wrong. It's one of those things,
I feel like they were initially supposed to release it in September, and then they pushed it. I think the second time they pushed it into mid-October, and now we're getting this third delay into who knows when because they didn't give a release date. I actually think that it's a good thing that they didn't release it mid-October because it only would have given them about 2 weeks before, 2 to 4 weeks before Call of Duty came out, and then nobody would have played it. So I actually think
maybe that's the other issue.
I think the other issue is that Call of Duty is coming out November 10th, and you know how everybody gets on their Call of Duty grind as soon as that game comes out, and whenever it comes out in October, November. So I think they're pushing it into February, March. That was going to be my guess, February, March. and that would have been actually a perfect time to refine whatever the hell they need to refine, because obviously they still have stuff they need to work out, and then drop it when people are kind of coming off of the whole holiday season with Call of Duty in their hands, and then being able to play something new, something fresh. Well, quote unquote, because people have had their hands on it. But it's crazy to me that another developer, and I don't like free to play games having so many betas and not being able
and
to drop.
stringing you along.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, like it's not fair. Like that now, that's the other thing. Oh, it's free to play, don't complain. But it's like, no, bro, they prey on you. Or the ones that do, here's early access releases, and the people that pry on you and get money out of you, and you put money into their game to develop. It's like, I can understand it's like supporting and trying to like a product that you want,
Right.
but at the same time, this was never the case in the past of gaming. Like,
Exactly.
and I get it. World change, things change. Like, but bro, don't act like we didn't get banger games 10 years ago, great games, and we didn't even touch them, have review copies before. We didn't even play them. And they didn't give us nothing. They worked on it, they dropped the game, and it's like, here's your game. So it's just consumers. I mean, not consumers. These companies preying on us consumers. It's sickening.
And what sucks is, and it feels especially with free to play games, no matter how much they delay it, they get released, and it feels like it's still an unfinished product. And part of it is because they're not getting money up front. They have to wait on microtransaction. That's my
they're going to do it free to play,
Yeah.
but here's the battle pass. We expect 90% of our player base to buy.
Right. And I think that's what's going to happen with XDefiant, and I think that's why even when it comes out, even if they're doing all this fine tuning, all this yada, whatever they're doing, whenever it comes out, it'll have that initial peak, and then it'll die down because something tells me that game still isn't going to be as fresh and clean and as fine-tuned as it needs to be when it comes out, because it's a free-to-play game. So there's something about free-to-play games, shooters in particular, that they just underdevelop for some reason. That's my opinion of what I've seen. The only one maybe, and I don't even remember, maybe you and Logan can talk about this. I mean, whenever we get Logan back on here,
we got to get Logan back, man. We got to get Logan on the pod.
But Apex Legends, I know that was a big thing, and then when it dropped, I don't remember.
Sneak drop,
sneak dropped. I don't remember how like clean that was. Do you remember it all?
Was legit, man. No, that game. I remember when we played that. I mean, if we compare it to what it is now, it's like, yeah, they learned, and it's like, yeah, now it seems like knowing what we know now versus then, like, ooh, way more complete game. But nah, that shit came out, and it was good. It was real good when it came out. It felt like a good game, and it only built upon that. It didn't feel like it was trying to finish something they didn't finish.
Yeah.
So that's good. Moving and speaking on Call of Duty.
True.
Kevin, you want to read the other tweet that was just tweeted, and information that was brought to us about an hour or two ago, just as XDefiant was tweeting. Activision Blizzard.
Yep,
Go ahead.
So this is about 3 hours ago, roughly, as of the time of this recording October 9th, from Activision Blizzard. And it says, "It's awesome to see anticipation building for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 as we continue to work towards regulatory approval of the Microsoft deal. We've been getting some questions whether our upcoming and recently launched games will be available via Game Pass. While we do not have plans to put Modern Warfare 3 or Diablo 4 onto Game Pass this year, once the deal closes, we expect to start working with Xbox to bring our titles to more players around the world. And we anticipate that we would begin adding games into Game Pass sometime in the course of next year." So I know that we've talked about this in the past, and we've been guessing ourselves when these games would be coming to Game Pass once this deal officially closes, which should be sometime in this month. We were saying sometime by the end of the holiday season. They're clearly saying it's sometime into next year. It's even more of a bummer because this is another vague thing where they're saying next year. They're not even giving like quarter one or the first half. They're just saying sometime in the course of next year. That sucks. That being said, it also, for silver lining, I think they're not necessarily saying that they're opposed to ever putting Modern Warfare Diablo 4 onto Game Pass, just that it's not coming until next year.
Yeah, but also what this reads to me too is like clearly Modern Warfare 3 is coming out. They know damn well they want all those sales, even though that's the whole point of big selling Game Pass. Like, give me these, especially when you're gonna acquire Activision Blizzard. Like, I feel like, I'm sorry, if you are a Xbox or someone who has Game Pass, and you're hearing about Xbox buying Activision Blizzard and the money they spent, I don't think you want to keep Game Pass if you know damn well they acquired them and they're not giving you Modern Warfare 3 in Game Pass without you having to actually purchase it. Like, that's wild to me, especially how expensive these games are. That's nuts. But also, number two, what's kind of getting to me is Activision Blizzard is tweeting this. Activision Blizzard is not technically owned by Xbox yet. So this is where I'm like, like, now I'm thinking about it. It's like, sounds good. They're saying that they could be talking about all this in deals, but like, I guess when it officially gets approved, if it gets approved by it, like, can Xbox just be like, okay, we own you. We're putting this game on Game Pass. Like, screw you. Like, that's what I'm almost starting to think. It's like Daddy Phil over there just be like, yeah, who said we wait until like next year? No, it's going on Game Pass now. Like, that's the hopeful part of me. I don't know where that falls in, but like, they're still tweeting as kind of their own company because it's still not official. Right. But like, is that also part of the deal? Did they like sign off like, yo, if you guys do acquire us, you're not gonna be able to put these games on Game Pass until we give the okay, but they will be on Game Pass. Like, I don't know if that's part of like just little what do they say in the fine print of the contract there? Yeah. I don't know, but I would love for it to just be like, yeah, Activision's talking. Once they go under Xbox, it's like, all right, yeah, those games are dropping. I don't know what the hell they were talking about. Like, we own them. Like, that'd be nice, because yeah, you want to talk about what happened when Bethesda got acquired by Xbox?
Yeah, so Bethesda, it was about a year until from the time that Microsoft said that they were in the process of acquiring Bethesda until it was officially announced in the beginning of March of 2021. And then it was like, I think it was less than a week, but about a week from the time of official announcement till they had announced that they were putting 20 games of the Bethesda's on Game Pass. So it only took about a week. So that's why it's so even more confusing why it would take so much longer. Especially now, listen, if you want to get all your money out of your Call of Duty players, as much as that is a scummy thing to do, I understand as a business you're trying to get all your money's worth. Mm-hmm. But Diablo 4 is kind of actually on a low. I think Diablo 4 is actually taking a hit from all the bad game decisions that they've had in that game and the hot fixes that they had to have and all the updates and stuff. They had to do the campfire chats and all this stuff. They did all that because they were on a PR like nightmare. It was they were trying to put the fires out because people were so upset. So for you to wait to put that game onto Game Pass, it seems a little weird to me. That game came out back in like June.
I don't even know if it was the head lead developer or whatever it is of Diablo. By the way, I remember reading this too a couple months ago when Diablo was out and this deal was looking like it was finally going to get approved. One of these guys tweeted, they're like, "No, Diablo is not going on Game Pass." Like if they had the decision. And it was funny because in the tweet you can hear it's like, that sounds good, but once you get acquired, that ain't up to you, Dad. Yeah. Homie, Daddy Phil's gonna come in there and be like, yeah, it's going on Game Pass. So that's why I think it's funny now. In here, it clearly shows that it's like, we're gonna do it, but it's not gonna happen this year or whatever. Like they say, put Modern Warfare 3 and Diablo into Game Pass this year. Like they don't have plans. Yeah. But clearly that means there are plans. But it's just funny to me, like you was acting tough, like, nah, Diablo 4 is too big of a game to go on Game Pass. Like, no, it's not. You're gonna get bought. You won't be the one making that decision. Exactly. So it's all funny, man. These guys are hilarious. But Xbox, make that shit happen quicker.
Please.
Sooner rather than later. Yes. Please.
we'll see. Well, so time will tell. All I know is I think you're right. I think once they get officially acquired, it's like not your decision anymore. I even think I'm pretty sure that what's the CEO's name in Activision? Bobby
Kotick.
Yeah, I think he's already like being planned to not be CEO of the Activision division in Microsoft once they get acquired.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure he's already gone once they get acquired. We'll see what happens. But that is,
I think that's where we end this thing, man. Yeah. That's the news this week from GamerVice. The talk about the talk. I can't talk no more. But what you guys can do is type away in the comments section. Let us know what you think about this video. Let us know what you think about the other videos, man. Share the video with your friends and family, or don't. But we appreciate if you click that like button and all the good stuff, man. Here at GamerVice, we are giving you all the vice you need. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a blessed day. Take care.
Peace.
Peace.